Hi, everyone. Thank you. My name is Kristina Newton, and I'm the founder of Hope for Youth. We're a nonprofit that combines exposure to women of color in tech and 21st century technology education to empower girls to see themselves as tech leaders around the world. So, when I graduated in 2006 with a computer engineering degree, there were fewer than 1% of engineering degree earners that went to Black women. And those statistics remained the same for about 10 years. Some would say that this is merely because girls aren't interested or that they don't believe that they can do it. After all, as the common quote goes, she believed she could, so she did, right? Well, that's wrong. Next slide. There is a huge problem that exists in the pipeline from K-12 to career for women of color. This leaky pipeline problem is even more dire for young girls of color. Hype has an intentional focus on ushering girls of color through the tech pipeline through our curriculum, our programs, and our resources. You should care about this because computing jobs are among the fastest growing and highest paying occupations. But over half of our high schools don't even offer computer science courses. Fewer than 4% of Black girls are taking the AP computer science exam, and more than 50% of Black women leave the tech industry within their first 5 years. Next slide. Studies show that of the women that are working in computing, 74% were exposed to coding in middle school. And so that's where we at Hype start. Through our exposure and exploration programs, girls gain an introduction to computer science and they learn how it connects with their passions and interests. Through our tech education pillar, girls learn how to code using in-demand programming languages. They work on relevant projects to better their community and bring awareness to causes that they are passionate about. Over the next few months, we'll be adding new curriculum in cybersecurity, data analytics, as well as cloud development. But we make our most significant impact in the lives of our girls through empowerment. Hype uses a train the trainer model because studies show that we retain 90% of what we teach. So our Hype alumni are eligible for internships, international travel opportunities, as well as teaching assistant roles where they come on board to further develop their skills and teach other kids in underrepresented communities how to code. They go from being the student to the teacher, not only achieving that they are getting tech education, but they're also getting leadership development as well. Next slide. Over the past 2.5 years, we've seen our impact grow by almost 7,000%. And amidst a global pandemic, Hype has continued to increase in impact by partnering with school districts in Atlanta and being one of the first coding programs to offer virtual instruction, making the pivot from an in-person model to a virtual offering in less than 1 week. We have a goal of connecting 1,000 girls to computer science pathways through our STEM mentorship and training program over the next year. Over the next 2 years, we're looking for corporate sponsors who are interested in volunteer engagement and sponsorship opportunities, education partners who can connect us with their student bases, as well as financial investments to help us continue providing our services for free to the communities who need it most. And so with impact and meaningful growth being what we at Hype value most, my question for the panel is, what are some key outcomes or characteristics that you would want to see from an organization like mine? Thank you.
Tremendous job, Kristina. Hype is incredible. And from a very personal note, as the father of a Black daughter who, you know, she might be a few years away. She's 11 months old. But sign us up when she's old enough. I had a very quick question I wanted to pose to you, and then I'll give a little bit of a longer answer. You put up a statistic: 50% of Black women leave the industry within 5 years. Can you give me what you think the top two reasons, just as quickly as you can, why is that in your estimation?
Yeah, so some of the main reasons for that is lack of community. So they don't have other, people who look like them in the space. And another common reason that women give is not seeing themselves in leadership specifically. So not understanding that they have a pathway to leadership as well.
Fantastic. Well, I'm just so impressed by it. So a couple of quick thoughts on outcomes folks would like to see. I think you want to spend some time on both short term and long term. So in the short term, because we're in the here and now, I would love to see some pre and post survey data around long girls' ideas for what they want to do in the long term, or even bring it up a little bit what they might want to do in high school and in college as a result of going through the programming that you're offering. I think that would be intriguing to me to see if trajectories have been changed. And then, I come from the education reform space where there's a lot of focus on tracking folks who've gone through certain programs and seeing what the trajectory actually is. So I think in the longer term, finding out how you are going to be able to keep in contact with the girls who go through your program and see what it is that they end up to go on to do, I think is going to be really important. Of course, that's going to be in the longer term. But I think you're right on the money with this. This is really exciting. And I just think it resonates with people. It immediately resonated with me, as I mentioned with my daughter, but I think it just resonates with people. And so I think on that alone, in addition to all the wonderful things you're doing, the future is really bright for this program.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kristina. Is there anyone else who wants to add anything? Jeff?
Kiana, I just wanted to add, I agree absolutely with everything Stefan said. I would just augment it just a little bit to suggest maybe that HYPE might set a very specific and very lofty goal. Something like triple the number of Black women taking AP computer science in Metro Atlanta within the next 5 years. And fundraise against a goal like that, track a goal like that, challenge the College Board to support you in a goal like that, challenge Georgia Power to support you in a goal like that, challenge Coca-Cola to support you in a goal like that. And rather than being broadly useful to young women in technology, be really specific, really audacious, and challenge in this moment where people who used to deny the racial inequities can't anymore. Challenge people to put their money where their mouths are so that you can have a bigger impact on the community that you care about.
Yeah, I think I would echo that, because the two statistics that you cited are the two main reasons why you see that 50%, right? Women who lack community and they don't see their potential leadership growth has nothing to do with them as individuals and as Black women and young people, right? It is not their job. It is not our job, my job to change that, right? There are systematic things that are in place that prevent or that inhibit me from feeling as though I'm a part of that community. So as Jeff said, push and challenge. Now is your moment in time. Take the top 10 companies and not just tech companies, but all companies now have divisions of technology within their companies in Metro Atlanta, and challenge them to put their money where their mouth is, where their Black squares are, for sure.
Yeah, and this is Kristina. Great job. I have a 13-year-old daughter as well and a 12-year-old son. And so one of the things that I realized just with kids is helping them to find interest. And, we've all heard the quote, you can't be what you can't see. I actually don't ascribe to that. I believe you can't be where you're not supported and you're not given the resources and tools to grow. So one thing I would actually do as well is think about what your goal is for after you do this initial training, and then identify and capture data from the girls around what their interests are, whether it's, fashion. I bring that up because my daughter's in fashion, or aviation, or fintech, and potentially create sub pathways. And that's where you can actually identify additional partners to actually then move the girls through the process. And so they learn the foundations of computer science and technology, and then adapt it to an area where they are of interest for them. But happy to talk to you after as well. Great job on this.
Thank you. And that's actually something that we are doing next, because that is what we find is that girls join our program when they can connect computer science and technology to something else that they're interested in. And so we have a fall program that is focused specifically between computer science and the arts and entertainment industry. And so we have girls who, might be on their dance team, kind of signing up and, working on passion projects that are around their interests. So yeah, thank you.